my fellow readers. Today I'm going to be talking about the manga series Shortcake Cake. I just finished the final volume of this series, and I definitely wanted to talk about it. Once again, Shortcake Cake is by Sue Morishita, and Sue Morishita is a team, so it's more than one person. I think it's just a duo, but I don't want to say for sure. And so what is this fabulous Shortcake Cake, which wrapped up in 12 volumes? Shortcake Cake is a shoujo series that tells the story of Ten, who used to commute to her school, but it was like, I believe, multiple-hour bus ride into school. So she ends up getting a room at a share house, and the share house has certain rules, like you can't date the people within the house, and I think there's limited interaction too, like the boys section is here and the girls section is there. That's sort of forgotten after like the first volume, so I don't remember all the details, but essentially it's a share house and there are rules between male and female interaction. So what I liked about this series is that in volume 1 through a couple of the early volumes, there's sort of the setup where you think this is going to be your traditional, typical shoujo love triangle series, because Ten, when she moves into the share house, she meets the handsome, possibly playboy Riku, and also the more soft-spoken-ish reader, Chiaki. And Ten very quickly develops feelings for Riku, like a pretty serious crush. I think, I'm trying to remember if Riku turns her down, but then starts to develop feelings for her. I think that's the case. And so they have this, interesting relationship dynamic that happens there about whether they'll get together or won't they, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, there's Chiaki in the background, and Chiaki does develop a crush on Ten, but he also becomes friends with Riku, and so there's this interesting dynamic about whether he should push Ten and Riku toward a relationship, or whether he should admit his feelings and pursue Ten. So again, you think in the beginning, okay, this is a typical shoujo love triangle, and she's gonna break somebody's heart, and let's just see, will she date this one and then date the other one? And especially, it's interesting, I'm trying to think of like how far into the series it is. I don't really remember, but there is a part where Riku and Ten are, I believe, tenuously dating. Like they're not, I don't remember if they're officially official or just sort of dating on the dating sphere. I don't remember. But this lovely character here is introduced. He looks so nice in this picture. And this is Ray, and Ray turns out to be Riku's brother, and he's kind of a twisted character. And so for, really I think it's for Ten's protection, she starts to fake date. It's in part Ten's protection and for Riku's protection. Again, it's a weird situation. But Ten and Chiaki start fake dating to throw Ray off of the scent of Ten dating Riku. It's a whole thing. So you wonder during that time whether more of a relationship will develop between Chiaki and Ten, or if she will tough it out and be able to be with Riku. So there's that whole dynamic. And why the brother is that scary? Well, I'm not going to tell you why, but I will tell you that that is actually, I think, the main purpose of this story. So even though at first it seems like typical shoujo flair, okay, we got a love triangle, it really ends up being about family dynamics and healing the relationship, and also finding out what happened between the two brothers, what the backstory is there, and whether they can mend fences. And really, Chiaki and Ten making that happen, or helping to make that happen. Now I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, one had the piece on his hair. There were lots of times where Riku and Chiaki looked very similar to me. During the course of the story, you can tell because Chiaki will have lighter toning to his hair, and Riku will have just like black hair. But I think it was also like one of them has a little, I could be wrong though, I don't remember. I don't remember all the distinguishing. During the narrative, it's not hard to know who's who. But sometimes the covers, it's hard to know who's who. Like if you look at these two, it's like the same character. But I believe this is supposed to be Riku and that's Chiaki. I could be wrong. Don't count me on that. I could be totally wrong. But yeah, they're great. They're great characters. Chiaki is a great supporting character. He also ends up with his own story. The main romance is between Ten and Riku, but the main story really focuses on Riku's past and his family relationship, and helping him reconnect with Rei, and why they had the fallout that they did, and then how to heal it. That becomes actually the main story. And then it's just nice seeing the friendship between Chiaki develop with Riku, to where they can be like best friends. And Chiaki's that kind of character where he wants to be the good guy and the best friend more than hurting people. Like he's not willing to actively pursue Ten to the detriment of his friend. And he's a good character. And I did like where his story ends up, so it's really good. And sorry if I I probably should have put a spoiler out before like the whole thing, but honestly, it's one of those works where you can tell pretty quickly who the main couple is going to be, and then it's just what obstacles they're going to overcome in their relationship, more so than seeing the pursuit of that relationship, if you know what I mean. Because like I said, it's not really about the relationship. Once it gets past a certain volume, it's not about really the relationship between Ten and Riku, or Ten and Chiaki. It's the relationship between Riku and Rei, and what happened in the past, and overcoming trauma and that kind of thing. It's not even about the relationship anymore, even though the relationship has its place and its importance because it helps Riku to develop as a character. That's not really the focus of the story as a whole. So I would definitely recommend Shortcake Cake because I liked the drama of it. I liked the story of it. I liked the characters in it. The relationship was sweet. And I think it's worth it to see what happened in the past. What is the story of Riku, and what is the story of Rei, and what happens by the last volume. I just think it's worth it. I really enjoyed Shortcake Cake. Again, this is a 12-volume series, so it's not as big of an investment as some series, but it is a good size. It's a good sizable series. I like their artwork. I think there's a unique quality to it, especially their cover artwork, which sometimes to me almost looks like crayon colored. It's all digital, but there's a texture quality that's semi-watercolor, semi-crayon looking to me. And I enjoy that. I don't know why. It just seems soft to me, and I really like it. And I think they use similar textures for Sign of Affection, and I'm looking forward to getting into that series because it looks really good. I actually have the first volume right over here. So again, this is by Sue Morishita, and yeah, I can't wait to read that one because I enjoyed Shortcake Cake. I think it was really good. It was sweet, and I like where it went. I like that it wasn't like a typical story where it's just, okay, here's this boy and this girl, and this other boy gets in the way, and maybe they break up for a bit, maybe they get. I'm glad it didn't follow that path. I'm glad it was more about finding out about the characters' backstory and building bridges and relationships again and moving forward. So if you want to try a shoujo that has some typical elements but is also a little bit atypical, I would highly, highly, highly recommend Shortcake Cake. I thought it was so good and sweet, and I like the artwork. So I would highly recommend this one. That is it for this video. Until next time, bye!